Hi, it's me again. So today I'm going to be talking about a subject that is very near and very dear to my heart, which is sports. Specifically how to watch sports, or what it's like watching sports here in Japan. So I'm going to be focusing on watching sports in your home country, with also just a little bit about watching sports here actually in Japan. Principally because I'm mostly interested in my own home teams, right? So if you can't tell from my voice, I'm from the UK, and if you're from the UK you might be able to even tell where in the UK I'm from, but if you can't, don't worry, I'm here to help you. I'm from Liverpool in the UK. Now you might know Liverpool from music, very famous for the Beatles and such, but principally now it's most famous for its football team, its soccer team, Liverpool FC, which is historically one of the biggest teams in football history, but is also now currently the Premier League winners. This Sunday, tomorrow when this video goes out, will actually be the kind of opening match of the season, which is the Charity Shield, which this year is going to be contested between Liverpool and Crystal Palace. So I'm in Japan and I want to watch that match. How do I do it? That's a difficult question. The simple answer is there are an app that you use. Currently, the app that you would use to watch Premier League content is a online streaming service called Unext. Unext is a bit fiddly to set up, but it has every Premier League match that you might want to watch. I think this season it has La Liga as well, although I'm not so sure. It might be DAZN that has La Liga. DAZN is another streaming service, not the same as Unext. You've probably heard of it before. I actually for a long time thought it was called DAZN, but apparently it's called DAZN, which I don't know. But the kind of short answer is that if you want to watch sports in Japan, there are many apps to watch sports on, and they're very simple to set up. All you need is a credit card or whatever, and you're good to go. And what's even more is that the price is very cheap. If you wanted to, I think if you want to watch soccer or football in the UK, your options are basically Sky Sports or Sky Sports, and it's a monopoly, it is. But if you want to watch in the UK, it's going to be something like, I don't know, 60 something pound a month, which I will put the dollar amount up somewhere like here or here, wherever, and as well as the yen amount. And you only get to watch a certain select chosen. Wow, my English just went out the flipping window. With Sky Sports, you only get to watch a select few matches. They cherry pick the matches, and you only get to watch those ones specifically. In Japan, it's all the matches, and the price is much lower. I think this season it's 3,000 yen, which I will put the price again somewhere either side of me so you can see that. And it's every match and every sport and every basketball games, La Liga game, J League game. We'll get to the Japanese league in a minute. It's very convenient. Okay? What is not so convenient, and this is going to be the next, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes of this video, so just a heads up, is time differences. Now, I don't know about you, but I much prefer to watch sports live. Watching it recorded is fine, is okay, but watching it live makes it that much more exciting, right? I don't know what it is. It's even if you avoid watching the scores, even if you avoid learning the scores, it's still more exciting to watch it live than it is to watch a recorded version. That's just me, perhaps. I don't know. If you agree, please leave a comment. But when I'm watching here in Japan, actually, let me dial back a second. Let's talk about the UK soccer start times, how and when they play, right? So if you're completely unaware, this is a very brief rundown. Soccer matches in the UK typically take place on Saturdays and Sundays. traditionally, the traditional time will be Saturday 3 p.m. But as the years have gone by, there have been more and more times added to this, and some of these are really, really good for Japan, and some of these are really, really bad for Japan. So currently, on Saturday, the main kickoff times are, I think, 12:45, 3 o'clock, and 5:15, if I'm getting that correct. On Sunday, the main kickoff times are 12:15, I think, 12 or 12:15, 2 o'clock or 2:15 or something like that, and 4 o'clock or half 4, I forget exactly. So we have these range of times, right? Now, Japan is currently, at the time of this recording, 8 hours ahead of the UK. That is, the time difference is 8 hours. So right now it's what, like when we're on this 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Japan, which means in the UK it is about 8 o'clock in the morning, right? And that is good for some matches, but not so good for other matches. So let me explain, right? If you are in the UK and the match is starting at 12:45, that is great for me. That is like, it's not so good for you, but for me, it's great because I'll have finished work for the day. I'll be able to like go to the bar and watch the game at 12, because here in Japan it's going to be like 8 o'clock at night, right? And the time when it finishes will be just like about 11ish, like 10:30, 11ish. So I'll be able to get home, no problem. Great. Or I can, like, you know, be at home and like have a nice early night. It's great. If the kickoff time is the more traditional 3 o'clock, however, it becomes a little more difficult, because that means that I can only watch the game really at home. I can't go to a bar and watch it, because I don't know if you know this about Japan, and it might surprise you. Japan like shuts down fairly early in the evening, in the night I should say. I say fairly early, but about midnight the trains stop, like the buses stop, everything is just shut down. You'll still have like bars and clubs and such that are open, and like late night izakayas and what have you, but by and large it's kind of like once it gets past midnight it's closed. So if it's a Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff, then that means that the finishing time is going to be, it's going to start at 11 o'clock and it's going to finish at about like 1 o'clock in the morning, in the night, which is difficult because I don't live in Tokyo, I live in Chiba, so that's like a 40-minute train ride, which is not too bad, but if the trains aren't running, then it's a 5-hour walk, and I've done it before in the past and I don't wish to do it again. You know, it's not a fun walk, it's not an interesting walk. So yeah, only at home. And then furthermore, you have the Saturday 5 o'clock kickoff. So the match doesn't even start until like past 1 in the morning, and then doesn't finish until 3 in the morning. And yeah, you know, it's not fun. It's like staying awake. I'm getting older, you know, and it's like staying awake later is like less and less desirable. So I don't want to do it, but I still do it because I prefer watching live than watching the recording. And the same thing is true on the Sunday. 12 o'clock kickoff on the Sunday is fantastic. The 2 o'clock kickoff is also just kind of fantastic. The 4 o'clock kickoff is not so good. And then, of course, you have on top of this, because it's not just the Premier League that you have the Champions League and the Europa League and the Friday night and the Monday night kickoffs, which all happen at about 7:30 to 8 o'clock, depending on the schedule. And that's just right off. You know, you have to like go to bed early the night before and wake up. And if you've been, like, say it's a Friday kickoff or whatever, and I'm getting home at, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night, and then I'm having to like wake up at 4 in the morning to watch the soccer, it's not happening, you know. Especially if I've got like work the next day as well. So it's pros and cons, yeah. Sometimes are really, really good for you, sometimes really, really bad. And the last thing I forgot, I'll just mention on this topic, on the topic of time zones and differences, is Japan doesn't have daylight savings time. So take everything I've just said and add an hour to it. So instead of it being 8 hours, it's all 9 hours behind when you're in Japan. So all the times get shifted by 1 hour. So the Sunday 2 o'clock kickoff becomes untenable, becomes not doable if you want to watch it in a bar. So yeah, it's not fun in that sense. Watching J League or the Japanese soccer is very easy in Japan. In fact, a lot of the matches are just on free to watch TV or free to watch streaming. Not every match is possible to watch, but the grand majority of them are. And of course, there are local teams that you can watch here. Like I said before, like I'm from Liverpool, so I follow one of the kind of historic teams. I support one of like the true greats in like the international football. When I first came to Japan, I was living in Gifu for a good 5 years, and Liverpool FC, one of the top tier teams in the world, in world football. FC Gifu, one of the lowest teams in the Japanese league, like one of the worst teams. I enjoyed going to the stadium to watch them play, but it was just the contrast of ability was funny, was hilarious. I supported them because it's my home team, and I still occasionally watch them. And even though now I live in Chiba, and I really like them. Like they're not good at all. But they are very fun to watch, and they're very easy to watch. Because Japanese J League is just it's everywhere. It's readily available compared to the UK, where you have to jump through so many hoops and so many games are just kind of closed off to watching. Japan is much better for that, and it's the same for other sports as well. I've noticed here in Japan that it's a lot easier to watch baseball. It's like baseball is on just regular, like I'm talking like the professional Japanese baseball league, whatever it's called. I don't watch it all that often because I don't watch baseball. Sorry, I think it's like one of like the most boring sports ever invented. You might think the same thing as soccer, but then why are you watching a video based on like soccer? I don't know. But it is readily available in Japan. And the same with watching like American baseball or American basketball. You can go on to like one of those apps I mentioned before, like the Zone or Unext, or there's another one called Abema here in Japan, and they're all very cheap, and they're all full to the brim with content. Like this, God, this doesn't sound like a sponsored video or something like that, but it's not. I assure you. But I would recommend it if you come to Japan, just be ready. It's kind of, you can easily access any sports that you want to watch, but the caveat is that it's going to be probably in a time that is not suitable for kind of like human living, human wakefulness. Does that make sense? That's a bit of a strange sentence. There is an exception to this, which is like if you are Australian and you follow an Australian team, such as like Perth Glory, for example, then there'll be no difference. It's the same time zone, so it's like maybe like 1 or 2 hours difference on depending on like the east or west side of Australia. But very comfortable for you guys. A little envious, a little jealous, but that's how it is, right? So that's my video for today, talking about watching sports in Japan. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions about watching sports here in Japan or watching soccer in Japan, what it's like following a team in a foreign country, please do ask in support. And the last thing I want to mention is just that, like I say, tomorrow, Sunday, it's going to be Liverpool versus Crystal Palace in the Community Shield. Please tell me who you want to win, and it better be Liverpool. It's your choice. See you next time. Have a good one.